And we're back, and it's time for a really awesome shave, and I'm excited for this one. Today I'm going to be discussing the RazorRock Eco, mated with the RazorRock titanium handle, and we're going to be doing a shave with PAA's Grove. It's in the CK6 formula. If everybody see that, and the matching Grove After Splash. And this one for me, guys, I really like this. This is green. This is absolutely being in the mountains for me. It smells a lot like, it smells like camping and hiking. And as a person that's done a lot of backpacking in his life, it's kind of like a perfect scent. And then this is my CravingShaving with a 26 mil Boar brush. And I've been doing a lot of synthetics, but lately, and I just wanted something more scrubby, and this is a really soft, very scrubby brush, and I really like it. So I'm gonna start soaking it, and I'm going to be using, for a pre-shave, the Proraso, and this is just the white, and it's going on before all the other stuff, and it makes things work for me. It may not work for you guys, works really good for me. All right, first and foremost, I wanted to talk a little bit about this, how like the manufacturer, how RazorRock wants you to use it. For like $30 or $40, I think it's $30. You get an aluminum handle, aluminum head, and you get 100 blades. And these blades that they send you are called crowns, and they're definitely not fit for a king. I didn't like them. They're really mild and they don't last. And I mean, I think I still have a bunch of them because I just didn't like the way they shaved. But after like probably 20 uses of this, I came to some conclusions. The first one is that it does better when it's light. That's why I have it with a titanium handle. It just feels a little smoother when it's lighter than really heavy. The head on this matches, and this is a Gem Junior. If you look, they're very similar in cutting space to the Gem Junior. So anybody that's like wanting to experiment and play around with a Gem, but is hesitant to buy a vintage razor, and I can understand that. These can come in all conditions. You may get a dud. So this is going to shave kind of similar. It's going to give you the same idea on head height, kind of give you a concept of what it's like to shave with a Gem. After probably 10, 15 shaves with this, I stopped really enjoying the shave as much as I could, just probably because I switched to injectors and I was like, oh, now this DE doesn't feel as smooth. So what I did, you know me, I can't help but fiddle with things. I took the plate, right? Because it's a 3-piece razor, it screws together. You put this top plate on this with the blade in the middle, very simple, and that's how you shave. And from the manufacturer, had these really, and I don't know if you guys can even see this, really long pins. And these 2 pins were also, there's 2 little pins that were here, and they were the same length. I don't know why in the world you'd ship a product out with that much of a pin. It's not necessary, especially in the front. This holds the DE blade, these 2 pins, and the 2 ones up front make the DE blade sit really secure while you're putting it together, while you're screwing it together. But you can easily simply just sit your DE blades against the 2 and screw it together. It doesn't really affect anything. And what it does is it makes it so you can't load anything against these front pins. So I just took a Dremel, as you guys can see, it was an okay job. I need to go back over and refinish and seal, but it's aluminum, so it's not going to have very many problems. I just took it a Dremel and just dremeled off those front tabs very, very carefully because it's aluminum, so you don't want to do any damage. But you can see like front plate's fine, there's no issues. And what that allows me to do, and I apologize, my dog is with me. She, if I pull out a soap that she likes, she wants to come and play with me. So this is, I think she likes me out hiking. She was a hiking dog with us, and yeah, if I wear this or anything that smells kind of like being in the mountains back home in Utah, she's gonna come and be in the bathroom. So you guys can see this. It just goes together like this. Very, very, very easy. And with the pins removed, it doesn't affect any kind of It doesn't affect any kind of the way it works. So all I do now, this is my favorite way to use this. I just put it together like I'm going to without a blade. Just gonna assemble it, get it like 75%, right? So this is gonna have a little bit of a wobble to it at this point. You guys can see this is kind of, it'll talk to you. Hello, 1, 2 shave. Okay, so that's all we're gonna do is we're gonna open them up, grab our injector blade. Okay, injectors look like, they come in this. We talked about this shit a little yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you seen that one blade Genesis video. If you haven't, we use an injector in it. We're just gonna grab this injector blade. I'm gonna do this so I am on this camera as best as possible. I just take it, slide it right in front. And because there's pins there, you just kind of get it to where it's in the middle. Not bad. And I like that. Now I just take my finger and I just kind of hold it together while I'm screwing. Just ever so slightly. That's it. And you can take like, you know, something like a nail or something and adjust if you need to, but I don't really need to. It's all done. Looks like this. And you can, a lot of people say, you know, I don't want to mess with something. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to fight my razor every morning. This I assemble one time and I assemble it. It took 10 seconds and I can shave with it. This is my 12th shave in a row. So you can just leave it assembled if you really wanted to. 12th shave on this blade. So we're gonna see how it goes. And that's it. It's it's very simple homebrew. Very easy, and to get it set up was even easier. The Dremel took the material down really fast. I think I probably took a minute just because I was a little bit overly cautious. Yeah, it's a huge improvement with using it over the DE blades. I think the way that this RazorRock head sits, the DE blades, just for some reason, they feel a little more scratchy. And other people have talked a lot of people have talked online about, you know, the RazorRock Eco being less smooth than its competitors, or too clunky, too thick, too heavy, too large. It's just not smooth enough. And with the DE blade, it really improves the life. It improves the feel of the razor. It's a nice quality of life adjustment. And I understand, a lot of people said, well, it's not the Eco, Josh, it's not an Eco razor if you're using more expensive blades. And while I get that concept, a lot of people are like, you know, they're not wrong. It's not using a DE blade anymore. It's still using a blade that works so long that it becomes like the same price for me. Is it a penny shave? I don't know. Right. But I do know it's like probably gonna be like 6 cents by the time I'm done with it. And I'm just gonna wet my head right now. Just wet my head so you guys can see kind of how this works. I hate just showcasing a product and then not using it, because I feel like anybody can showcase something pretty. This is the Proraso, the white. Again, am I gonna complain about having extra protection, extra slickness when I'm shaving my head? Absolutely not. And this is just a very light scent, guys. This isn't like gonna distort the PAA GROVE scent. This is a very light, kind of smells like apples to me. I know it has apples in it, but it's very apple forward for me when it first goes on, and then it mutes, and there's like really nothing to it. And CK6 is tricky. It likes a lot of water, so I don't know if this is going to be as much water as I need. Been doing a lot of shaves with A&E, and holy cow, and their product, for me, it has a different water band. It could be by humidity, it could be by water at home. It just feels like it has a different water band than the CK6. So, and this just reminds me of being out in the woods with my best friend when we were younger. You know, no bills, no wives, no jobs. Just getting out and hiking and being free. So I can keep a nice and clean surface so I don't drive myself crazy when I have to watch this. Sorry guys, I'm gonna dip out of frame for just a second. I always forget my alum. I should make a sign that says, Josh, don't forget your alum stick. I like swiping my hand like this. It gives it a more texture so I can grab my razor easier. And we're gonna get in and we're just gonna do with the grade pass. And for this being on its 12th shave now, it is absolutely a pleasure. And you can see I'm doing a different angle. I'm not riding the cap, right? This, to me, feels exactly like shaving with my 1912. The angle on it feels so similar to me, to my 1912, in a good way. So anybody that's like really considering that option, really wants to go down that route eventually, I thought this was a nice starter. I actually used this before I used my 1912. I thought it was a really good introduction to that vintage style. And anybody wondering that's not ever shaved their head before, I like using a single edge for shaving the head. It just is one less sharp component that can bite you. It's very personal. It is the method I prefer. You can see this razor is gliding, and for me the DEs never glided as much, and then this actually gives it more area to grab. Lather, so I have to wash the razor out less than I do with a DE usually, which I like. And some of you guys are gonna watch this and then watch the one blade Genesis and be like, Josh, the one blade Genesis took so much longer to shave close. And the difference, I can tell you guys, the reason why. Oh no! The reason why it's faster is because I'm using the Schick blade. When they tell you the Schick blades really are a little bit better for most people, there's a reason. They really are a little bit better. For me, I can go faster. It's gonna just knock down stuff a bit faster. I'm just washing my hands off. And a little more lather. Because this is before work shave, and so yeah, anybody that's never used or shaved their head, I like the single edge, and this is a really nice razor for that purpose. I've been wanting to do, I've been really excited to do, I'm going to do a video on what got me into feeling comfortable to use these. That was with the twig. I would never have thought I could do this until using the twig. And the twig, it gives you the freedom to make mistakes and not really hurt for it. This, if you make a mistake, this will bite you pretty good. Twig is very, very forgiving, and it kind of taught me the angles I needed to be able to do this. So I'm really thankful for it. But the method of use for this is just no pressure. It's just none. I'm gonna go across the grain now. You really just don't want any pressure. That is the trick to being completely smooth using the injector blade in this. And I noticed when I was shaving with the DE blade, I could actually use a little more pressure. This was a little more forgiving with the DE blade as far as pressure goes, but it was way more choppy. Way more choppy. Like IMCDB did a video and he's like, dude, this is just choppier than the twig. And I have to agree. Using a DE blade, it's a little choppier. You take the DE blade out and you just shave with it like this. It is smooth going. I also think it loads pretty easy. Right, you just slide it in front and shave. Another thing, it's not a tip, it's more just common sense. Anybody that buys one of these, just make sure when you're tightening down the razor that it is tight. I didn't know when I first got this how, because the head's so big, it can loosen up quite a bit during the shave. If you're putting like lots of pressure, or I don't know, maybe I don't know what I was doing, but I had it loosen up once and it was scary. I didn't like that. I'm gonna wipe my forehead off. Get that off of my shirt. And whew, I got one spot I need to do ATG on. I'm gonna do ATG on my whole head, but you can just hear it's so smooth. And that was a 2-pass. And I wasn't really trying. I wasn't like, actively searching for angles or anything. It's very intuitive. I find the RazorRock Eco to be a very intuitive razor. And I think there's something to be said about having more blade fill with the Injector. I think the more blade fill really helps with this razor, because gems, all those razors have blade fill. I think that's what people that are using DEs and then they switch to something like this, they're like, they've never used a gem. And they've never used, even a Schick. And they're probably just like a little taken back by how it feels. And I think that's negative reviews for that. I also know people would want a stainless version. And a stainless variant would be dope. I'm a little hesitant because when I added some more weight to this, right, I put a really heavy handle on. I put a 100-gram handle on it. So put it up to like 140 or 150, which isn't too heavy. For some razors, that's where they sit. And I just thought it shaved like garbage, even with the Injector blade. It felt really clunky and clumsy and uncomfortable for me. That's kind of how it goes. Like, everybody has their own way. But for me, it just wasn't the way I wanted to shave. With a heavy one. So I'd probably stick with my aluminum. This aluminum works really well for me. You notice how I'm not showing the camera every 2 seconds? That is because when I've gone back and watched my videos, it doesn't really showcase what I was doing very well. And I'm sorry, with this side of my head, I had a really hard, I noticed nobody could really see what I was doing. And I'm sorry for that, guys. But I'm shaving my head, not yours, so I really want to be able to see what I'm doing on that pass. I took my friend's advice, actually watched the videos and texted me and he said, Josh, you've got to rotate your camera so that we can have a side view. So we're doing that today. We're going to use the horizontal angle and see if that works better for people at home watching on a computer. I watch on my phone, so for me, YouTube works best at that lengthwise. But That's nice. Really nice shave. Very, very nice shave. Very, very easy shave. I can definitely still feel these injectors have plenty of life. Plenty of life left in them. Yeah, I mean, a lot faster than the one blade as far as getting to that close level. I can grab my alum stick. Grab the whole alum stick apparently. Oh, yeah, I've never seen that before. Wow. And I do this with my injectors every time. You'll notice it just shows me where I'm at injector life. Because these blades will stay sharp for so long, it's hard for me to know where they are in their life span. That's it, boys. That's it. That's all we do. It's how we do. It's much easier with the injector blade for me. It shaves much faster, much closer. No irritation. And I want you guys to see my neck, where it's at. This is not. Got a couple marks from yesterday right here. But I mean, my neck has no irritation right now, so we're gonna see how it does really quick. And we're gonna shave up here. You guys know, I spend all my time shaving my head, and then I get to my face, I'm like lazy, I'm like, yeah, I'll just do this one quick. And I really like to use my hand for this portion of it. I know it's not perfect, but it works really well for me. I'm just doing that. So you guys will have to tell me, you know, what do you think of the camera angle switched over like this? Is it better? More enjoyable to watch like this? Any problems? Any problems at all with the camera angle? Let me know. I'll make some adjustments. I'm trying to make it so it's really easy to watch, really easy to see what I'm doing on YouTube. And so you guys can see that this isn't just, you know, me saying for BuzzFeed, you know, to get people to click into my video that you can use X, Y, and Z. I really prefer an injector than this guy. It does work. It does take a modicum of effort. It doesn't come this way from the factory. I'm sure this would avoid most people's warranties. But the Eco, for me, shaves better this way. I'm not going to complain about it. I probably wouldn't sell it without telling the people, you know, this has had X, Y, and Z done to it. But I wasn't going to sell this in general. This is a keeper. This razor I will throw in like a travel bag because it's aluminum. It disassembles well. You're not going to get stopped by TSA having it. Yeah, so soft, so smooth. No nicks, no cuts, no problems. Nothing. Oh, good. Yeah. And we're gonna Proraso my neck. I did not Proraso 2 times ago, and it doesn't feel as good. My neck. My neck, my way. And I told myself I'd never film again using a black shirt. My first video, I used a black shirt, and I had to delete the video because every time anything happened, you could see it. And then today, I was like, I could wear a black shirt. I said this yesterday to all you guys with beards. If you're gonna shave with the injector blade in this, be very, very careful. It is a lightsaber for long hair. It could take down this amount of growth. One pass, no problems. It is very, and it has no fill to it as far as like cutting. So you don't even know you've cut down. I'm gonna start over here. And I like doing one pass against the grain. And I'm using 0 pressure. Zero pressure here, guys. 0 pressure. And it's just gonna take it right down. Where would I recommend this? Like I said, this is definitely a really good introduction to single edges. If you really want to do it, eventually get into that world, see if you're into that world, this is a great razor for that. I'm really glad I started with this razor and then got into gems, because I would have been like, this is too much blade fill. But after going from this to a gem, it's like, oh, this is very similar in fill. I knew it just, this is a razor that really benefits those that don't use a ton of pressure. And we're done. Yeah. You can see I have this mark right here. Dog decided she wanted to give me a hug yesterday, and I didn't move fast enough. I got caught by a claw. Yeah. We are all done. We're ready for work. It was fast, it was efficient. You let the razor do all of the work. You don't put any pressure down, and you don't fight it. If you do those things, the RazorRock Eco with an injector blade is a truly awesome piece of equipment. And yeah, I'm kind of hoping, so this gives you kind of a preview into what I'm thinking, guys. I'm gonna be doing like this is gonna be just kind of like this razor shouldn't use this blade, right? How dare he? And then we're gonna do kind of a conversation on which razor does best with a different blade. Do some compares, like maybe the one blade versus the Eco side by side using an injector blade from Schick. Things like that. That'll just be fun, and you know, it'll show you side by side how these razors do and how they kind of stack up against each other if you were to go against manufacturers' dictations and use your own blade and tell them to stick it. We got some fun stuff coming out. I'm looking forward to doing it, and I'm really excited to be able to be here today. If you like this, if you found this interesting, if you enjoyed how I use my RazorRock Eco, leave me a comment, leave me an upvote, just leave me some kind of feedback. I feel like at this point I'm talking to the void. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later. Bye.